a decent plan. I don't know. So there you have Elliott on the right and Jake on the left.
And so Elliott in sideboarding, he's gonna hit some spicy ones, but looks like they're ready to go. So
yeah, we'll talk about a little bit more about sideboarding right after this game.
Because Elliott had the higher seed in Swiss, he was the 4 seed versus Jake's 5 seed. He was given the play.
And he starts with a Blood Crypt. Comes into play untapped. Oh no, he played it tapped and then just
played it tapped,
okay.
yeah.
And so far it's just land go. Elliott with all the shot lines coming into play tapped, but
I would imagine that much of the early game is just going to be building up a mana base. Neither deck wants to overwhelm the opponent in the first few turns.
Yeah.
Both of them are playing mostly dead removal against these against like the mirror. This is not exactly a mirror because it has like these individual threats, whereas Jake just has one.
So end of Elliott's turn, Jake cycles Azorius Charm and then follows that up with an Azorius Key Rune on his turn.
Unfortunate for Elliott, depending on how you want it. He did not draw one of his 2 Abrupt Decays. That's also another one of his removal suite that's very dangerous. For Jake, it can get the Azorius Key Rune and the Detention Spheres.
So there we have Rakdos' return, and that's
without a second copy, I do not like this play. I would want it for the whole hand. I don't want just 2 cards, especially when, though he did get 2 lands out of it, which is pretty strong. I would not want to use one of your best cards as just a Lightning. Yeah. Even if it is a positive
there it is,
play,
Rakdos' return.
It looks like we're getting
Deals
a Jace.
Jace Memory Adept.
How far are we going? Oh man, we're just going for it? Just mill
he's just going to mill him. Wow.
I'm surprised by that.
That's not the Architect of Thought. Wrong Jace, wrong Jace. Same guy, different card.
Memory Adept.
Yeah. So.
Alright, so Jaces are down. I would check to see if Elliott had a Dreadbore in his hand. I would have drawn a card to get some value. If Elliott doesn't have a Dreadbore in his hand, denying him a draw step isn't gonna do too much. But it's like Elliott does not have a Dreadbore.
He's got something though. Seems like he made a decision. Does he have a second Rakdos return?
I would imagine, yeah.
That's what it is.
See, I would have liked to see him hit a 6th land and kill the Jace. But maybe he has a Dreadbore.
He hits Jace Supreme Verdict, it looks like.
Yeah.
And looks like here goes another mill activation from Jace Memory Adept.
This is a really aggressive play by Jake.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it has like nothing going on.
Right.
And it's just like, I'm going to try and kill you first.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look here. It looks like we definitely hit one of the 2 Lilianas, if not both. I mean, that's just a scary card for Jake. That's why. I mean, Rakdos' return pretty scary too, but he's already burned through 2 of them, and he may have hit the 3rd in that in those.
I would have
mills.
also liked to see a redirect to the Jace, unless of course he has the Dreadbore. He doesn't have a Dreadbore. I do not like Elliott's play line either.
Alright, and here's the Dreadbore.
There it is.
And what does Jake have? Probably not an answer. didn't look like that was an answer in his hand. He didn't have an answer at all in his hand because we see what he discarded. He discarded lands.
Well, no, he discarded his whole hand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, even if those were still in his hand, he didn't have an answer for the Dreadbore.
Yeah, he only has the 2 copies of Syncopate as counter magic.
And a Huntmaster that fails to follow it up.
Yeah, this is going to be really good for Elliott, considering Jake is very unlikely to have spells, given that he was forced to discard his entire hand.
Alright, 1, 2, and it's a Snapcaster Mage.
We're looking
He's just
for
flashing back the
Supreme Verdict.
Supreme Verdict, so clears the board. Passes back to Elliott. Empty-handed here. Elliott, I believe, drew the third copy of Rakdos return at the exact time when his opponent is already empty-handed.
Sure.
So it's not as effective here.
It's still a fireball at some point.
Sure. Thragtusk from Elliott.
Yeah, I actually like Rakdos. I wouldn't mind seeing a little extra mana. Jake's just up the clock. Here's a reason to play Entreat the Angels.
Yeah.
Sometimes your opponent just kicks the crap out of you, and you miracle an Entreat, and your opponent's almost drawing dead.
Yeah. No Sever the Bloodline.
Gotta remiracle. Gotta remiracle the bonfires. He's probably checking to see what he's got. Definitely.
There's at least one bonfire in there. How many bonfires? 3 in the main.
There are 3 in the main. So, I mean, there's also like an interesting thing where like I might be able to race with the Wolf Run, if not for the Ghost Quarters in Jake's deck.
One of which is in play.
Yeah.
Olivia Voldaren.
That actually can race just fine.
And Jake, double Entreat off the top.
Yeah, jeez. There are
apparently
3 of them.
not that. Yeah, not an Entreat, I imagine. He's doing some math.
Yeah, I mean, you can't send in with. Yeah, actually, Olivia just shut down Jake's best top deck.
So it looks like Ghost Quarter.
Also, I believe that was a premature. I guess you can't get a mountain. Yeah, you can get a mountain. That was a premature Ghost Quarter. Or not. If Elliott gets a mountain, he can ping twice with Olivia. Maybe the mountain was milled, or...
It might have been.
Yeah.
And it looks like Jake's going to swing with 2 Angels.
Right, he can't swing with any more, actually. If he swings with 3, then Elliott just steals 1 next turn. And attacks for lethal.
Yeah. Olivia getting a little bigger there.
Alright, also marking an Angel for theft.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. This game has had quite a few swings already.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So Elliott, thinking about what he should do here, he can steal 1 Angel and then...
mark another one for theft.
Mark another one, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's got enough to do both of those. Also grow the Olivia.
Mm-hmm. One thing he may not want to do is attack with his Olivia.
Right.
Just to play around Azorius Charm.
And looks like he's going to go ahead and steal that Angel.
I might even, I believe Elliott has a Farseek. I might even want a Farseek. And definitely attack with Thragtusk.
So Thragtusk into the red zone, trades with an Angel.
With an Angel. So basically, Jake plays his big finisher, and it doesn't finish the game. Alright.
Yeah, Elliott played his finisher twice.
Yeah, to be fair, Elliott's has a bunch more mid-range type cards.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a testament to the power of Jun, where Jake just plays his best card by a mile. Mm-hmm. For a situation, a Miracle Entreat. And Elliott's 4 and 5 mana cards just very easily defeat it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about having the right answer at the right time. It's not having an answer for Olivia. Olivia's just taking over the game.
Right.
It's not even the Thragtusk. The Thragtusk was kind of well, it was there, but it really didn't need to be.
Jake might have been able to race the Olivia. I'm not positive, but
Elliott was at 27 or something. So Angel number 2 stolen by Elliott and Olivia.
He's still deciding if he wants to attack with just, and if attack with the Olivia or not. Alright, so both the Angel and the Beast are being sent in. Jake only on 10. So it's not like he's
and there's a Farsi.
Fell to 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I thought he was already at 10. I think he's actually much lower. Checking on the life totals, we get that. I think we're getting that for you guys. Farseek resolves, and Jake is indeed at 3.
Yep, and that's another land in Jake's hand. So
what does he? It is another land.
Yeah. It's a Beta Plains.
So this it doesn't even matter.
At least he's losing with class.
Yeah, for sure. But just this game, game 1.
Right. So yeah, I was thinking, what kind of crazy draws do I want to play against? Might just rock the burn him out.
That'll do it. So not much Jake could have really done there. I don't really feel like he.
No, I actually feel like if he drew some cards with Jace.
Yeah, that might have been different, but at the same time, like he was losing his hand left and right from the how many, like 7 or 8 Rakdos returns that Elliott played.
Yeah,
it seems like.
just 3. But I feel like it would have given him a much better shot to pull out of it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, in fact, like Jace's ability kind of did nothing. Like,
correct.
So it was like 5 mana planeswalkers.
Jace basically
eat a
gave up on 2 cards for the ability to try and hope Elliott didn't draw a Dreadboard and win the game with it.
Yeah, it was basically trade my 5 mana Jace for a Dreadboard. That was it. So
going to sideboard.
Going to sideboard, but before that, we're gonna ask some trivia questions.
Wow.
Just one trivia question.
Yeah, just one trivia question for now.
So what we normally do, for those of you guys who might not know, we give away different amounts of Star City Premium access. During the quarterfinals, we were going to give away 3 free months of SCG Premium.
3 months? That's sweet.
Yeah, for sure. All the way up into, so what month is it? It's October. So we're getting into January. So for the quarterfinals, we give away 3 months of SCG Premium, 6 months during the semis, and then a whole year.
Yeah, but you'll have to turn in tomorrow
those,
for the...
Yeah, those two will both
for the big kahunas.
Absolutely. So for right now, though, we're going to give away 3 months of premium access. We're going to ask you guys a question.
I love giving away things.
Me too. It's fun.
Can I ask the question?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
But before you ask, just so they know how to answer it. You were going to say
that? Tell them. Yeah.
Is that what you were going to? The question was, how do you answer? How do you answer this question?
Tweet your answers on how to answer this question to SCGPROV and SCG Premium. Hashtag SCG Premium must be in your answer.
Yes.
For you to qualify. So the question, the real question, not the fake question, the real question is, Joey and I did a top 5 cards list from this tournament.
Just a little while ago, right before
we turned to Ravnica Mythic Rare. Landed atop our list.
Yeah, the top card, our #1 card, a Return to Ravnica Mythic Rare.
So right here, SCG, right, yep, there.
Yeah.
SCG Premium.
Yeah, just
make sure that's in your hashtag.
Yep.
And tweet your answers and...
one random correct answer.
Yes, we'll randomly choose from all the correct answers and none of the incorrect answers.
That's right. Yeah, if you get it wrong, you're not in.
Sorry. And we'll do that after this match?
Yeah, the directors will be doing director-producer over there. We've got Shoebox and Choi. They will pick a winner and let us know, and we'll tell you guys who the winner is. So.
Sweet. So make sure you send in your answers.
Yep.
And watch this riveting match.
Yeah, so these guys are now sideboarding. And
so what does Jake have?
Well, he's got Sphinx's Revelation, an additional copy, which might help him kind of...
That's like an adorable counter to Rakdos'
Exactly,
return.
it's like Rakdos' return. All right,
you can gain the life back.
Gain it back, draw the cards, thanks.
So, I mean, if they both have equal amounts of... If they each have one of their respective X spell, it's really about who has more mana. So,
sure.
I mean, Elliott definitely has more mana because he has Farseeks. But Jake also has the ability to protect his hand, protect himself from Rakdos' return with Dissipate. He has 2 copies of Dissipate, 3 copies of Negate, in addition to his 2 copies of Syncopate in the main.
Yeah, so just a little more counter magic. I mean, kind of a lot more counter magic if he wants.
Yeah.
Got an additional Tameo, which...
that would bring him up to 3 copies.
Yeah.
I strongly agree with that one. Tameo's completely insane. You can very easily ultimate against a deck that doesn't draw Dreadbore, but Dreadbore is going to be very taxed, and you could also protect it Dreadbore with Negate.
Sure.
Outside of that, so it's just like counter spells. I don't think you want. He has, I believe it's the 4th copy. Oh no, the 6th copy, 6th Wrath of God effect. He has 4 Terminus and 1 Supreme Verdict in the main. So I don't think he even wants all of those. He might want to go to just 2 Supreme Verdicts, something like that.
Oblivion Ring for Liliana seems like a reasonable answer.
Yeah,
and
or
course,
just a spot removal spell.
It's a big guy, right?
Can hit an Olivia that won the game. I actually think Azorius Charm is fairly weak unless you want it for just the card draw. Using it, its lifelink mode is not going to happen, and the put a creature back on top, all bad against Olivia, Huntmaster, and Thragtusk, which are the primary cards that you'd be putting on top. So you could probably get away with not playing all the Azorius Charms.
Very good point.
Elliott, on the other hand, has some nice ones. If he wants, he can have Sever the Bloodline for the Entreat tokens. I'd probably stay away from that, however. Just
2 copies there in the board.
Yeah, 2 copies. There are 2 copies of nearly every card in Elliott's deck. That being said, I think he'll bring in all 3 of his singletons. He has 1 Vraska the Unseen, which seems like a great answer to Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
1 copy of Underworld Connections, which you can guarantee is coming in. And also my favorite, a singleton copy of the Staff of Win.
Staff of Win.
I like to call it Staff of Nin.
It's Trent Reznor's mic stand, I think. Is the way I look at it, yeah. Staff
it also has 2 copies of Thundermaw Hellkite, if he wants an additional haste type creature. It'd be bad against Azorius Charm should Jake keep them in, but against the rest of his deck, I actually think Thundermaw Hellkite has a lot of appeal. Depends on because Elliott also has a lot of iffy cards. He has 3 Bonfire of them and 4 Pillar Flame that he wants to get out of his deck. So between he also has 2 copies of Duress. So I would actually recommend 2 Duress, 2 Hellkite, and
the 3
Staff, Underworld, and Vraska, one each. That. And that's how I would sideboard the end for Elliott.
Yeah, outgo the pillars, outgo the bonfires.
If you wanted fewer creatures, you could side out maybe a couple Huntmasters or something like that.
But I mean, what are you trying to bring in after that?
The Severs, yeah. If you're really worried about it, if you think that's the only way you can lose, is a Miracle Entreat.
Sure. Yeah, he doesn't have the Slaughter games.
Right. Jake on the other hand has 4 Geist of Saint trapped in his sideboards in case he wants to get aggressive.
Yeah, he
keep his opponent on his toes. I would actually opt against that in this matchup, trumped by every creature, in addition to Liliana. So I would probably opt away from it. Elliott has some natural ways to beat a Geist of Saint trapped. So
yeah, I don't like the Geist either.
It might even be a good reason for Elliott to keep in all of his Huntmasters and not side out any creatures.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that plan. Or that non-plan, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Don't bring in the Geist of Saint Trapped.
Do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely think Elliott's a huge favorite pro sideboard.
Yeah. And he's already taken game 1, so not looking good for Jake at the moment. But I've said that before and seen that exact player player win the game.
That's why, you play the games. It's still a game of Magic to be played. Like, somebody can manage screw, somebody can make mistakes. You know, who should win is not always who does win.
Looks like Jake is a keep. Elliott appears to be a keep.
Yeah,
and
double keeps and we're off. Elliott probably deciding if he wants to duress on turn 1. That's the only thing. He's playing at a pretty reasonable pace. Yeah, just playing his land saying go before, so and he actually had to think about his turn 1 land drop, which might signal some sort of either weird mana development or
think twice at the end of Elliott's turn there for Jake. Draws a card for the turn, plays planes, and passes back. Elliott draws. There's that Rakdos return in his hand.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's not another land.
Yeah, just from that pause earlier?
Yeah. That would be my tell. Well, I was wrong.
There's a Rootbound Crag, and pass back, and we have a flashback think twice. Jake draws,
so he's not
Jake
going
draws.
for the sandbag think twice plan?
Not at the moment, and he has got 1 billion lands and detention spheres in his hand. He's got some more, but I think maybe a Jace is in there somewhere. I'm not totally sure. Is that how many cards in your hand, kind of?
Yeah. There's a blue card. It's either like a think twice or a dissipate or something. Maybe I don't think it's a Jace.
I think he's got 3 detention spheres.
Yeah, it looks like 3 detention spheres.
And then maybe like 3 lands and a Jace. Having trouble seeing. Passed back, it looks like, and there we have.
It is an altered Olivia Voldaren.
Yeah, she looks kind of like a bird or something. I'm not sure what that is, but she's certainly altered. And a key rune.
Key rune into detention
sphere.
It might not be 3 detention spheres because I do see a Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, that might have been the gold card that I.
There were
thought
3
was
blue-white gold
one.
cards.
Yeah.
So, Jake wasting no time detention sphering a 3/3. That really can't do anything else. So, Elliott should know that Jake is probably chock full of removal, and probably wants to, if he has a second Olivia, like definitely clear out a hand. Even like, but like a Huntmaster or Thragtusk is something you could feel free to run out.
We're gonna have a duress, I believe.
Yeah. I was just gonna find out what's going on.
No, he changed his mind.
Oh, the Woodland Cemetery came into play tapped because he does not have a buddy.
Yeah, no buddies.
On the mono buddy land.
But I think he does have a duress because I think he may have been thinking about it. I could be wrong.
I don't see a duress in Elliott's hand, but he's being
I think he would have cast it
big
by now
meanie
too.
face.
Yeah, I think he would have cast it if he had it. There's that Supreme Verdict. Gonna just trade with the Huntmaster.
One, yeah.
And get in with the key rune. Key rune.
I'm not sure I like that play either. It basically might as well slap a sign to his forehead that says, "I do not have a counter spell," and he plays up to 7 in his deck, and 2 damage isn't going to be terribly important against a deck with Huntmaster and Thragtusk.
Yeah, and he just opens himself up to what what just happened. Is Elliott plays a 4 card and 4 damage Rakdos return. I mean, I guess if he didn't have the counterspell, he was going to get hit with it anyway, but Elliott would have still been possibly playing around it.
Right, and also could have played Think twice to hit something. So, looks like there's a little confusion. It looks like Jake was going to discard 3 cards, but all of Elliott's lands are tapped, which would make X equal 4. So, we'll see what.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the conversation is about, but some sort of judge call.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it might have had to do with the amount of the value of X.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like X is 4. We'll see what else is going on. And so now we're back to a game where Jake doesn't get any cards in his hand. This is why Rakdos Return is just such a huge card.
Yeah.
Against control decks. Even mid-range decks, like granted Elliott didn't play any of his acceleration spell, but he has 7 to help get it out like relatively quickly. For Elliott, I'm not sure if he has other things to do. Trying to get a look at his hands, yeah. I believe I saw a Bonfire of the Damned.
Which is interesting because we thought
he would take it out, and yeah.
Drag Tusk?
Thundermaw.
No, Thundermaw. Another card we kind of weren't sure about him bringing in, but. And we have.
He's gonna try and Miracle Terminus.
Flashback, think twice.
Yeah. We got Jake's turn, and it looks like he drew another.
Think twice.
Think twice, and a couple more lands.
He's gonna think twice.
I think.
Draws Jace.
That's great. That's going to gain him 5 life and draw him 2 cards, 2 bad cards or 1 good card.
There's that Jace. Jeez, think twice. Snapcaster, negate.
Well, he's gonna likely get whatever 2-card pile. Although it worked out for Jake, I think I would have rather think twice on Elliott's turn. If you miracle something,
right?
Much stronger there. Like if he draws an Entreat the Angel, he just like feels really bad. That being said, he might be a little on the desperate side, and he also might not have Terminus in his deck anymore. So
yeah, that's possible.
Would make only Entreat the dagger to draw.
I think he must have Terminus though, because he did do that think twice in response to the.
That could be a bluff.
Sure, yeah, definitely could be. And Elliott trying to decide how to split these cards.
Once again, some 3-card splits are not very interesting. I think this one's pretty interesting. Snapcaster Mage can flashback the Supreme Verdict. So I might put that by itself. And that looks like what Elliott's done, and Jake wants the bigger pile of negate and think twice over
the Snapcaster.
One of his 2 Snapcaster mages, which is basically like regrowth or recoup. Not much of an attacker in this deck.
So Elliott untaps with a Thundermaw Hellkite. And now it's just a 5/5 flyer. You know, nothing fancy.
No big deal.
It's already done its fancy work where it came in with haste and tapped all of Jake's flyers.
It's merely it's merely a 5/5 flyer that he paid 5 mana for and already dealt 5 damage with. Interesting, like Elliott gets a choice to attack Jake directly or the Jace. Jake's actually at a low enough life total that I could realistically see Elliott attacking Jake directly, especially if he has any other way to deal 2 damage to the Jace.
Yeah,
this is basically like your 1 application of Pillar Flame main deck.
Yeah, which we assume Elliott boarded out, but we think he has a Bonfire in hand, and that'll do it.
That would be a reasonable, not exactly a reasonable way. It's a 5 mana way to kill a 4 mana card that already got value, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
There's that Bonfire we expected. Taps out.
It's for 3, and it's getting negated.
Which Elliott was well aware that Jake had.
Might have been a play to Bonfire first, and then decide who to attack. All right, so yeah, this to me is a pretty big game. It's got to go in a pile by itself.
Yeah, Jake now using his the last 2 counters on that Jace And
yeah, I mean, there's one that, you know, kills the Thundermaw Hellkite, and that's it. And then the other one kills the Thundermaw Hellkite and leaves you with a Planeswalker in play.
yeah.
So
So the 3 cards are Tamiyo, Terminus, and Azorius Keyrune. Yeah, he's gonna give him the Tamiyo and the Keyrune, and that's exactly what Jake takes.
That's Jake just got a free Keyrune out of his.
Yeah. And we may. Well, here comes Tamiyo. Geez, I'm almost like tempted if I'm Jake to just tap 3 for the Keyrune and then tap. Oh no, he's got a different plan. Okay, so he's just gonna play 2 Planeswalkers this turn. That's all.
That's much better than a Keyrune.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't realize he had the other Jace. And now he plays Tamiyo, taps down the Thundermaw Hellkite, taps out, plays Jace, Architect of Thought, and now again Fact or Fiction, Detention Sphere, negate another Tamiyo. Jake now tapped out.
I might take whichever 2-card pile.
So there's Detention Sphere on one side and negate Tamiyo in the other pile.
The only reason you would take the Detention Sphere is if you believe Elliott has another threat instead of another answer. Like if he has a Dreadbore, taking the Tamiyo is much, much better there.
Well, he took the Tamiyo and the negate.
Yep. That was a little hasty draw by Elliott. If that's a miracle, he might have missed his opportunity. But any red X spell off the top will do it. But I don't believe it's in Elliott's hand, otherwise he would have already cast it.
Yeah.
And then once Jake untaps negate, kind of takes that possibility away, which is why I really like the negate and
the Tamiyo.
Yeah,
that pile.
With the that pile.
So we see a Huntmaster of the Fells from Elliott. So he gets he has a tapped Thundermaw Hellkite being held down underwater by Tamiyo.
Yeah. The crazy thing about this
Hellkite.
This is that the Huntmaster's not even that good against the Jace. Like Jake will definitely be able to.
He's just
never mind. Give me more cards. Hey, that's a card.
And one of them is a Jace. So it's just kind of like I'll use my Jace to fact.
I can't imagine this is close.
Yeah, it's
Terminus verse.
So it's Jace, land, and Terminus are the. So he puts Jace in a pile, Terminus, and
Jake
land.
Jake gets a free land. He's picking up these free cards with.
Yeah, sure. I'll take Terminus.
I mean, the only way that's right is if you're, can guarantee you're dead set on Jake already having an answer.
There's that Terminus. Costs 6, but that's fine with Jake. He says, I have 9.
Jake's got 6, so he's good.
Now he's got 10. He just played another land.
Yeah.
Tamiyo going to tick up here, keep something tapped. Keeps his Blood Crypt tapped.
All right, keeps Who Cares tapped.
Yeah.
I just want a loyalty. Now, Jake's certainly in the driver's seat of this game.
Looks like from the other table, Dan Jordan advances, winning 2-1 over
Jason
Ellis, who we actually saw playing White Blue Humans earlier on, I think in the final round of Swiss. So, Abrupt Decay from Elliott takes out the Detention Sphere, freeing up his Olivia.
Game. Yeah. Granted, the Olivia is only a Phantom Monster.
Just a 3/3. He can't really do anything else. Olivia's so bad.
Yeah.
Such a bad card.
Might not have been the correct time to unlock the Olivia.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know that at the same time though, Jake is 2 swings away from it, but there's a Tamiyo that's just going to lock down the Olivia after 1 swing.
Right. So you get it to 3, and what's the big deal about that? Yeah.
I guess if Elliott has some other way of dealing with 3, and he may
through a negate.
Yeah, it's
unlikely.
It's a tall order. Yeah. Well, we're gonna see 1, 2, 3, 4 Huntmaster.
Yeah, I might have tried to harass the Tamiyo with the Huntmaster and then unleash the Abrupt Decay. Maybe a little later.
Now here he's He's
Going
swinging
for
with
the
Olivia.
miracle.
Not sure what. Yeah, he's going to try
got
to
him in
miracle
his
off of
deck.
him twice. He's well, yeah, for sure. Olivia is swinging. I'm not sure if she's swinging at Tamio or at Jake.
It would probably do. That's close. They're both at 6.
Yeah.
You're not looking to kill Tamio.
Right, or at least that's the secondary thing. You really want to kill Jake.
Yeah. Or
Jace too,
Yeah,
but Jace
whatever.
isn't there.
All right, looks like we went after Jake.
And I believe the Olivia ticked up one by damaging a wolf or a huntmaster. So Jake now is in trouble because he can lock down Olivia, but he's got 2 other guys that he has to deal with. He can block one with the key rune, but that
if it
still
doesn't get
allows.
stolen or
Sure.
pinged to death.
He can. He's still got guys to deal with. So, at this point, what does he want to do here? What is that white card in his hand? It's an Oblivion ring.
Okay. That still doesn't do it.
Right.
It kind of does it.
Actually, he can O-ring the Olivia, and then he's
tap down
like the wolf or something, and then
Azorius
key rune blocking the Huntmaster.
Yeah, and he's relatively safe simply because all of his he's got negates to protect from most of. Okay, so he did that in the wrong order.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You O-ring the.
You need to O-ring the Olivia because the Olivia can kill the key rune.
Yeah, and he has the Think Twices, at least a Think Twice in his yard, so that he can stop the Huntmaster from flipping back and forth. But unless Elliott has an answer here, or unless Jake has an answer, I'm sorry, he's going to be dead to that wolf attack. To say nothing of the cards that Elliott has drawn. And you can imagine Elliott's running through the thing is like, all right, what did Jake do? What does he have? Why would I not,
Right. Well, I mean, how much does he have untapped there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 lands untapped. Is it possible? It's exactly what I was going to say. End of turn Sphinx's Revelation.
Oh, wow, okay. That's pretty cool.
So, gain some life here.
Whoa.
Draw 4 cards, or how many cards?
He drew 6? What the heck? Okay, yeah, he drew way too many cards.
I think,
He thought it was just X spell and he had 7 lands. X, I believe, is 4.
Yeah, I believe it's 4 as well. If he tapped 7, it's 4,
He tapped 7,
right?
put the Hallowed Fountain into play tapped.
Right, it's
and
blue.
then played 3 mana for the Oblivion Ring, and then just drew 6 cards. You could tell that Jake is not happy with himself at his mistake. And obviously he's not trying to get any advantage, but he did see some extra cards.
Yeah, X should have been 4.
Yeah, so.
Jeez. And it was getting real interesting too.
Yeah. Sometimes when we can see what all the cards are, there's a variety of things a judge can do when there's a bunch of eyes on the match. Yeah, that's the other thing to keep it. A lot of times there's a difference between if the cards touched his hand, which they did not, and if the cards were just set aside.
Right, which he immediately did. Yeah,
right.
I was sitting there going, he's going to draw a ton of cards. That's too many cards.
Yeah,
I didn't mean that ton.
Yeah, right.
That was more than I expected, and so
we got another result in the meantime. Baradoo now with green black zombies, and
advancing over Nicholas Heel.
We saw him on camera for about 5 minutes.
Was apparently not. I wasn't in the booth that time.
Yeah, we switched to him, and he probably made one attack and then won his round.
No, nice. So it wasn't even 5 minutes.
Let's to Barra.
He beats Nicholas Heel, who was playing Jund. So
yeah,
that will be the match. It will be Dan Jordan versus Barra Dunal. So it'll be Jund.
Tomorrow morning.
It'll be tomorrow morning. It'll be Junk Reanimator versus Black Green Zombies.
Yes.
On the other bracket. So on this side of the bracket, though,
We still have things. So what I believe happened is that the judge put back 2 cards somehow. I didn't catch which, like if they're at random.
They put the extra ones back,
and they could tell which ones the extra ones were.
And shuffle, yeah.
And then they shuffle. Because I believe Jake knew which cards they were, because he was, you know, drawing them in a separate hand, basically.
Right.
So they put 2 ones back at him, and that's the one thing to know, that almost assuredly, if he just drew them straight into his hand,
yeah, it would have been a game loss.
That would have been a game loss.
So Elliott plays Staff of Nin there after that Sphinx's Revelation.
The Staff of Win.
And that's
Jake has a bunch of cards on which to.
That's a 6-turn clock by itself.
That I don't think it'll come to that, but
I don't know that it would either. There's a Terminus from Jake Mondello. Gonna take care of the Olivia and the Wolf. Staff of Nin now, the major threat Jake has to deal with, and he can
lock it down
spear. He can
with
lock
Tamiya.
That's what he's going to do here.
It's probably going to get 1 damage
yeah.
dealt to Tamiya.
But it's also a threat for drawing Elliott cards.
That's the main threat. It's for.
Actually,
so
yeah.
He's not really dealing with it in the slightest.
He's just
never trying. Let's populate.
Growth. Yeah,
Sundering Growth.
He's going to populate and not get anything. But
it's a white disenchant.
Sure. I mean, we haven't had any other those. Yeah, exactly. So
the white disenchant currently is now Oblivion Ring. So Jake firmly in control. I wasn't actually expecting the Sundering Growth from
neither
Jake,
was I.
But there are at least two excellent targets in Underworld Connections and Staff of Wind, and then 3 mediocre targets in Rakdos Keyring. So it's got some applications.
Sure.
And there's only one copy
right
of it. Yeah, it was very good. You got one of the great targets.
Yeah, to Elliott's 1 staff.
Yeah.
So I think just a Farseek from Elliott, and I'll pass back. I think there was a flashback Think Twice there at the end.
There was. Only drew 1 card, which is nice. It looks like we're going into Keyrune mode because Jake's got a couple Keyrunes. To be fair, we might just go into
Tamiyo mode. Ultimate Tamiyo mode?
Yeah, the actual unbeatable mode.
Tamiyo now up to 8 from what I can tell. Yep. Double Keyrune down on the board for
the
Jake.
staff actually took it off of Ultimate for 1 turn.
Yeah. And one of the Keyrunes attacks, knocking Elliott to
If Elliott's empty-handed, I believe that's going to be game over.
Off the top?
Yeah, the negate's going to
deal with any bonfire off the top, a duress. So,
sure.
I mean, it's not too scary.
Show him your hand and I'll concede.
Yeah, just Tamiyo, negate, and land, does it look like?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hallowed. Is that a Azorius Guildgate, actually. 2 copies of that. I love the artwork.
It's actually not game over because Jake can't actually protect himself from an X spell right now, yet.
Yeah, at this point he's
definitely
there was another flashback Think Twice, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be casting, ultimating Tamiyo and casting another.
Just cast another, yeah. And he's got Jace and Terminus.
Perfect. The best part is, he even has the emblem. What a classy guy!
Emblem. Love it.
Props to Jake Mondello.
Yeah. And there's a Jace, not Jake, Architect of Thought, but you could say that.
and that's game.
I love how fast he started to play. Like suddenly, it's just like zip, zip, zip,
zip, zip. Yeah, I mean, he has plenty of time. He should actually just keep playing at his normal pace.
Yeah, he doesn't need to worry about time. Like, I don't know if he's thinking, it's
not
been 43 minutes.
Right, no.
These aren't timed. You're not going to draw.
He's good.
So there's the Tamiyo to replace the old one. Meanwhile, Jace picked up a Dissipate, for those of you guys who may not have been looking at the screen, but have been listening. Jake gets a Dissipate off of Jace. And that'll protect him from the X-Spell, as you were mentioning.
If I was Elliott,
not only protect him from the X-Spell, but it's infinite dissipates.
Right.
Because of the Tamiyo emblem.
Right. If I was in Elliott's position, I would have conceded.
I mean, basically at this point, he just attacks with key runes and dissipates everything that Elliott does, right?
And
I mean,
buys back Jace every other turn.
Did he just make his own Jace split? Like,
I believe
it was like 3 lands. It didn't matter. He might have just said it. He just like, whatever.
Yeah.
This good. It was just like Elliott isn't even moving.
Right.
Can we get a pulse check on Elliott?
Right.
Is he all right?
He doesn't look too excited to be here. Yeah, we found him. We got a mover.
Here come the key runes. And
oh yeah, you know what you need? You know what Jake needs right now?
Cards.
More cards. Also, no maximum hand size. My favorite part of.
It's crazy. He doesn't want to alternate Tamiyo.
Would you like to tap 3 mana? Why, sure, I would love to.
I'll attack with my 3 guys and then minus Tamiyo to draw more cards, right? How is Elliott even still at 18? Like, I feel like he was like at 22, took 2 from the key room.
He wasn't attacking a ton. He only had a couple turns of attacks.
But even then, it was 6 power. I would have thought Elliott would have been at like 14 or 12 or something.
Alright, so Jake wins the hard way.
Yeah.
If you noticed, Jake might not have that many Entreat the Angels left in his deck.
Yeah, I didn't see any Entreats.
He might have drawn about 40 cards that game.
Yeah.
So...
Wow. But that was actually really pretty exciting to watch because Elliott seemed to have him on the ropes.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And Jake, and I think that's kind of what I said before this game, or at the beginning of this game. I said looks bad for Jake. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I say that, and that player goes on to win that game.
Right. And it didn't look bad for Jake at all that game. It's not like Elliott's throw was bad.
Well, I mean, at the beginning, I think of the game, it didn't look great for Jake. But because he was actually pretty low on life, and but yeah, I mean he
deal with multiple threats. So Elliott had stuff in reserve, but like the big card was the Sphinx's Revelation.
Yeah, which is exactly
even only 4 cards.
Yeah, even when it wasn't the 7 that he initially tried to draw.
Right.
But that's what I was sitting here thinking. Like that, it's like he has 1 in the main and 1 in the board. He could very well be sitting here because we were worried. Remember we were talking about it was a lethal attack. He had like a wolf.
Yes.
And
it prevented a lethal attack.
It was the lethal attack that was coming. And we're like, if he doesn't have an answer, I'm like, could it be Sphinx's Revelation? And that's exactly what it was.
Sure enough,
drew him right back into the game. And
not only did it stop the lethal, like make the attack not lethal, life gain, and he needed the extra gas to. Going even then, like even after the 4 extra cards, he was still digging a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, he had a lot of opportunities, too. So, Jake Mondello takes game 2, and here we have the...
Anytime your deck list is known, Jake has to go back to sideboardings and has to at least fake the Geists. If he doesn't go to... if he doesn't fake the Geist of St. Traft, Elliott just knows that he just doesn't have to worry about it. So,
yeah, just give him something to potentially,
just something to think about. Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me. All right. So,
I don't believe any player actually made any changes. Also, the other thing Jake could have actually changed if he sided out his Azorius Charms once he saw that Elliott's actually bringing in Thundermaw Hellkite, he might want his Azorius Charms a little more.
Yeah.
Maybe not all 4. I doubt he would
just
want
have
all
a couple,
4,
yeah.
because it does cycle.
And it's Snapcast. You can Snapcaster.
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
You cycle it, and then if the Thundermaw comes down, you can Snapcaster it.
I'm actually surprised Snapcaster's still in Jake's deck. Snapcaster seems like it never gets in the way of anything.
I think it's just a matter of being another copy of another card. Like you said, It's kind of a recoup. It's like it just really wants to... He just wants the versatility, I think, of going, what do I need right now that I may have already cast? It's like it's not like, because if he
doesn't have a lot of cheap cards though. That's the other thing.
Sure,
especially without Azorius Charms, he doesn't have a way to cycle.
I don't know that he's that, like, he's, in a lot of these cases, like, we've seen him flashback Supreme Verdict, you know, and that's fine.
That's his best card, to flashback.
And it's like, if he were to side in the Supreme Verdict in place of Snapcaster, now that's a commitment, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
now
that's
when
a commitment
he's like,
to Supreme Verdict.
Oh, Thundermaw
like a split card.
I have Azorius. I would love to flashback my Azorius charm, but I'm holding a Supreme Verdict instead of a Snapcaster Mage. Something like that. You know, it's Snapcaster's. The versatility of Snapcaster is pretty great. I mean, and it can jump in front of something. I mean, if you can,
every once in a while,
you just go jump in front of a Huntmaster or something. You know, that'll kill a Huntmaster and get, you know, maybe cycle Azorius charm or something, whatever. And we haven't seen Syncopate yet, but and he may not even.
I'd imagine it's still in his deck. It's probably close to negate in power level. Countering creatures is something that Jake might want to do. Especially like a Thragtusk. I haven't seen Thragtusk from Elliott all match. Granted, he's not drawing as many cards as Jake, so it's harder to know the composition of his deck. That's why these mid-range decks want to play more 4s and 3s and stuff like that. Because they don't see that many cards. If you play a card, it's like a commitment to draw it. And you're not going to be like, you know, your hand's not going to be saturated with, you know, say a 4 of in a Jund deck more than it would be saturated in a 4 of in a blue-white deck that can actually find extra cards with, you know, Jace and Think Twice and all that Sphinx's Revelation.
Yeah, like 1-ofs in a deck with the you know, the draw power of a lot of blue decks. You know, a 1-of represents more than a 1 in 60. You know, it's kind of ends up being a lot easier to find. So looks like we have another and the final update from the other matches, the other tables. We've got Edgar Flores losing to Mark Blesso.
Yeah, Mark Blesso playing Junk Tokens.
And that's
advances to the semifinals tomorrow with another 2-1 victory. So all 4 of our quarterfinal matches
will be 2-1s. Yeah,
go to 3 games, including this one that you're seeing right here.
Yeah.
Alan and Jake, you see some You see the actual sideboard.
Yeah, I love that kind of new feature. Fairly new. It's a couple months old, I think. But
it's my first time seeing it as a commentator.
It's my first time actually seeing it as a commentator. You're right.
Yeah, I've seen it. I see it when I watch Star City Live, but I have not seen it as a commentator yet. I like it.
Yeah.
Big fan. Alright, looks like we're just about ready to go.
If you're just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco in the booth with Adam Prozac, and we're bringing you guys coverage from Providence, Rhode Island of the StarCityGames.com Open Series. This is the quarterfinals, and this is Game 3
of our last quarterfinal match.
Yeah, for the standard tournament here, the Standard Open, and it's been pretty exciting all day long with all these new cards from Return to Ravnica and all those, you know, stinky old cards like Titans and Swords going away.
My favorite part is like the mana is better.
Yeah.
You can play like like your 3-color decks should have like shaky mana but not like awful mana.
Right.
And your 2-color deck should have like fantastic mana.
Elliott leads with a Farseek on turn 2.
Getting a Blood Crypt makes it the best rampant growth. The format with dual lands, Farseek is king.
It kind of hasn't even sunk in yet to me that the shock lands are legal, even though I'm looking at them. It's just one of those things where I feel like, you know, are the shock lands are legal?
Yeah, right.
The shock lands are legal.
That's weird.
Yeah. So Elliott up 2 lands to Jake. Let's get 4 to Jake's 2.
Still nothing to play.
Yeah, and a Think Twice from Jake. End of turn. Untap. Draw.
It always feels like these blue-white decks start so far behind.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Not like doing... And this is like a good draw from Jake.
Yeah, he's just like land, Think Twice, Azorius, Keyroon.
It's not really. Elliott's going to take 2 from his Blood Crypt and cast something that costs 5.
Probably a Thragtusk. Yeah, there it is. Actually,
You're
Thragtusk.
such a genius, Joey Pasco.
It could have been Gideon, I guess.
Vraska, or
it could have actually been Vraska.
Or Rakdos' return.
Or Thunderball Hellkite.
But you're a genius.
Could have been Thunderball Hellkite.
Rakdos.
Alright, Jake on taps has a Ghost Quarter.
Oop. Sorry I shuffled my hand. I didn't even see it. That was a good cover up though.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm not, you know, I'm not the one playing with the semifinal berth on the line, so.
Jake, Architect of Thought. There. I keep mixing it up, so I may as well just do it deliberately.
Alright, so we have an activation of Jake, and Jace reveals.
Dissipate or 2 lands? What do you want? Dissipate or 2 lands? Dissipate or Datapate? What do you want?
Okay, I think Jake's hand is a Hallowed Fountain and all spells, so I would probably take the 2 lands.
He's certainly considering it.
It looks like he's going to go ahead. You have to make, but oh no.
Yeah, he goes with the Dissipate.
He's like, I want spells. Give me some spells. Oh, I don't have a Terminus either.
Didn't mean to drop a Terminus on the board.
Don't worry, it's not a really important card to reveal to your opponent that you have.
I mean, I guess your opponent... No, I mean, unless Jake is just running the super bluffs where he's just like, I'm going to throw cards on a table, completely mess with my opponent's head.
Yeah.
Make him play around Terminus when I have Terminus.
Yeah.
I don't know the advantage here, but trying to figure... apparently Thragtusk steals Jace Architect of Thought. It looked that way. So
there's no Zealous Conscript, because that would be awesome.
Read your Jace, so...
Zealous Conscript thing at Jace is like the coolest thing ever.
That would have been nice, yeah. Tap 5 Zealous Conscripts, get a mini Factor Fiction out of your Jace.
And kill it.
Yeah, and kill it. Exactly. I think Elliott's just trying to decide whether he wants to attack Jake or Jace.
Yeah,
he goes with Jace. And
I was gonna do another one. Oh, yeah. Nice revealed Terminus you got.
Yeah. Go ahead, Terminus. And Jake's gonna be like Supreme Verdict, Terminus.
Yeah,
he's got he's got both.
I don't think Jake's gonna cast Supreme Verdict here. Just yeah, he's gonna take 2. I would have loved to see Jake take the 2 lands.
There's the Terminus, the Termini.
I guess his other land is a Guildgate, so he can't actually put that one into play.
And it's a beast attack. Well, coming up anyway.
Yeah.
2 beasts for Elliott after the Thragtusks were successfully terminated. Not actually terminate, but terminus. They were terminused.
So I believe we have a Rakdos return, which I've heard might do things.
Yeah, it's a pretty sick
You kind of have to cast it now if you're Elliott as well, because you know that Jake has a Dissipate. So...
Beast attack.
Beast attack attacks.
Rakdos' return.
I just got one of those demeanors that looks like he's just disgusted with every situation. It's like, Rakdos returning for 4. This card's a nerd.
Jake's trying to decide. He's like, all right, I'll discard that.
Jake get to keep?
I think he gets to keep 2, and it looks like he's going to keep. He's trying to decide between the Detention Sphere.
No, he only gets to keep 1.
Oh, is it only 1? Okay.
And he's keeping a Detention Sphere, which is a pretty good card to keep. Facing down 2 beasts.
Sure, yeah. 3 mana Wrath, essentially.
Look at the reason I would have taken the 2 lands with the Jace over the 1 spell.
Just for the Rakdos' return?
Yeah, he would have got to keep an extra card.
Yeah. And now he's going to go ahead and Detention Sphere away those beasts and get in with the Key Rune.
So I'm guessing that there are no Think Twice. Did he ever flash back that Think Twice? He cast 1 on turn 2.
I don't remember flashing it back.
Yeah, me neither. So I think I'd rather have a card than 2 damage when Elliott's at 28. Drop him to the precarious life total of 26.
Sure. 31.
Yeah, sure.
Thragtusk for Elliott, putting Elliott up to 31. And I believe a Farseek now happening. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember him flashing back that Think Twice. I do know that because he played played it, and then I think he played the key rune like the next turn or something like that. And then
he did play one.
Yeah, he played one early. Yeah, he played it. I think on turn 2 we were talking about how, you know, it was a pretty much ideal
opening for
kind
him.
of opening for him.
He
He's
still
just
felt
like
really behind.
land, and he's like think twice. But I don't remember him ever flashing it back. You're right. So, I mean, I guess it's not as if his graveyard's exiled. I guess it's just all in there. But he's not. He's not looking.
I don't think. I don't think there is.
I think he forgot.
Yeah, he rearranged his graveyard after passing last turn. So he might have just forgot when he attacked with the key rune. That's entirely possible.
Alright, so it's...
So Thragtusk showing it's unbeatable.
he looked, but I didn't get to see it quick enough.
Yeah, he usually keeps his exile, Jake does, up above his
so
graveyard.
There's nothing there.
And there's nothing there, so I would imagine that... Yep, there it is.
Alright, gonna draw a card, I'll think twice. Not a Terminus. I believe he has an O-ring, though. He's gonna just chump with the Azorius.
I guess he is at 8.
Yeah, he's a little...
And that's not a great life total to be at.
Yeah, not when you're facing down 5 more damage. And...
a negate and a Ghost Quarter now. Oh, we're all out of think choices.
Yeah, he doesn't have an O-ring. I thought I saw an O-ring, but
no, it's a Plains. He does have a Plains and a negate in his hand. Jake does. But yeah, even though this is very strange, Elliott has more lands than Jake, even Jake has the bigger card drawing engine.
Well, he had double Farseek. I guess that's something, right?
Right. Usually something. It's not like Jake's not actually drawing a ton of extra cards. We're thinking. Oh man, the desperation play. I always think this is a terrible play.
Ghost courting his own land?
Yeah, some people love the thin your deck play, but I never like... I don't believe in the power of thinning your deck. Long ago, somebody did the math on when the Onslaught fetch lands were standard legal. And we did the math on thinning your deck, and like if you fetch 4 lands out of your deck and then draw 15 cards, you'll draw 1 more spell. You need to draw 15 cards before you hit an extra spell on average. Given like a normal like 24 land deck or whatever.
Right. That is not impressive.
No, it's not. Yet people, I mean, granted, drawing a fraction of a card is actually like reasonable, but is it worth? You know,
he's down 2 lands.
5 lands. That's not a lot. And I believe he's just going to die.
And there it is. Yeah. Jake Mondello scoops him up to a Thragtusk that he cannot deal with. And unfortunately, that was, you know, all that thinning did nothing for him. Right. But fortunately for Elliott Wolchesky, he is taking Jund into the semifinals to face down Junk Tokens in piloted by Mark Blesso.
Run down our
top 4
real quick. We'll have Mark Bledsoe with Junk Tokens playing against Elliott Wolchesky, who you've just seen here, with Jund. In our other semifinal match, we'll have Dan Jordan with Junk Reanimator